Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Mindful of You podcast. This is episode 55, Creating More Love in Your Life. Happy Valentine's Day. Whether you celebrate or not, you're getting a happy Valentine's Day from me. Fun story, like 2 weeks ago from today, and we're January, because now we're Valentine's Day, but when I'm recording this, it's January 22nd. So like 2 weeks ago, I had one of my best friends over and I was like, I want to do a Valentine's activity. And so I like printed all these Valentine's coloring pages and I was like, oh my gosh, it is a month from Valentine's Day. But January is so long and like so torturous to me that I was just like, that's the next holiday, so we're going to celebrate it. So already celebrating Valentine's Day. So this day can be like emotional for some people. If you don't have a partner or somebody to celebrate with, sometimes you're sad, and then sometimes you do have a partner to celebrate it, but they didn't meet your expectations or something, so you're still sad. So it's an interesting holiday, this one. Some people just hate it and think it's stupid. But I think it's a good opportunity to talk about love. And love is one of my favorite feelings. If you like this episode, I think you'll also like episode 12, which is Love, My Favorite Feelings. So check that one out. It's probably was also posted on Valentine's Day, would be my guess. Okay, so I wanted to talk about 5 ways to create more love in your life. Some of these are going to feel like a stretch to you. Some of them might feel super easy. But I have honestly felt a lot more love in my life than I used to. In the last couple of years, I have found ways to feel more love and less resentment and judgment and frustration. I still feel those things on occasion, but not nearly as often as I used to, and I get to feel love quite a bit. So pretty good life here. Okay, so my first invitation to try to create more love in your life is I'm going to ask you the question, could things you're annoyed by be something you love? So this is a bit of a jump. And if you want to be annoyed by something, or if you just are, that's totally fine. But I think that these things can be fun to think about as long as they're not obsessive. So, for example, if you get bugged by your husband playing video games, could you game with him? Or could you just think that he looks cute with his little headset on? The fact of the matter is, love is a feeling and is often created by our thoughts. And so if you're having thoughts like, oh my gosh, I freaking hate that he plays video games, or oh my gosh, he's so lazy, or oh my gosh, I need help in the kitchen, or oh my gosh, this, oh my gosh, that, you're not going to feel a whole lot of love. But if you're thinking thoughts like, oh my gosh, look at his little headset, he looks so cute, or I'm going to go give him a kiss on the cheek because he's just so stinking cute, then you're going to feel more love. I know it's not as simple as that, and I don't want this to be like negative, like toxic positivity, if it's something that really, really bothers you. But it could be fun to experiment with that and just see if once in a while, when he's playing video games or doing something you don't like, or when anybody's doing something that you generally don't like, if you can flip the script and feel differently about it and think it's cute or think it's fun. So yeah, that's my first idea. My second idea is to ask you, who are friends you haven't connected with in a while? Get lunch with them or call them for an hour, and you will probably realize how much you have missed them. So I am so lucky, and one of my best friends from high school, she recently moved like 15 minutes away from me. We used to live and have lived at least an hour and a half apart, and very rarely saw each other. And since she moved here, I've already seen her 3 times in like 3 months, and I am so happy about it. And it would have been so easy to let our relationship stay the same. It's in some ways really easy to let friendships go, and you don't feel like you're missing anything until like you feel bored or lonely or something, and you're like, man, I wish I had friends. And it's like, well, you didn't cultivate your friendships, so it doesn't feel like you have friends. But it's worth the effort to cultivate at least a couple of friendships, in my opinion, and to keep up with them and have somebody you can go see a movie with, have somebody you can go get ice cream with, or just sit on the couch with and have a nice conversation. Um, Doing these things can create more people to love in your life. And she has an adorable little baby. So now I have a baby to love too. So, like, twice the love. It's pretty stinking awesome. So if there's anybody who came to mind when I mentioned that, I would invite you to shoot them a text or see how they're doing, see if they want to get together soon, and see if you can create more love in your life there. Okay, number 3. What haven't you done since you were a kid, teenager, or before you had kids that you really loved? For me, it was reading. So I got a Kindle for Christmas. And since I got my Kindle, I have read 7 books, which I think is more books than I read in like the past 3 years. I started to get into reading a little bit more like last year and the year before. So it's been ramping up a little bit, but not nearly to what it is right now. I've just been like devouring books. And I love it. And I love a lot of the characters in the book. And sometimes there's like an adorable little romance. So there's more love too. And then that makes me remember like how much I love my husband. And so then there's more love there. And so it's awesome. But reading's not the only thing. It could be art. It could be running. It could be, I don't know if it could be running. You're crazy if it's running. Just kidding. But it could be music. It could be like, I don't know, spending time with your parents. Like just something you used to do that you haven't done in a while that you missed. Can you introduce it into your life again? So far we've got loving something that used to bug you, connecting with a good friend, and remembering something you used to do but don't do anymore, and beginning to love that again. So I've been really into like princessy royalty type books. So I read basically all of Shannon Hale's books. So she's a great author and does mostly like children and like young adult books. And when I say children, I mean like Harry Potter type level. And I really like books at that level because the language is really clean, and they're usually just more interesting to me. Adult stories are boring. And then the other author I really like is Gail Carson Levine. She wrote the story of Ella Enchanted, and a couple others you've probably heard of. So I'm planning on reading some more of hers soon as well. Okay, cool. Number 4 is love someone else without expecting something in return. So I have a hard time with this one. I think everybody does. I hope I'm not alone. But it's hard to sometimes do something for somebody and not expect anything in return. But it also can feel really good and create a lot of love in your life. If you bring a little gift home for your spouse or my love language is gift giving. So that's immediately what comes to mind. Or if you send a nice text or do something like an act of service that they weren't expecting, that can create love in your heart for them. But as soon as you start expecting them to reciprocate something, love's gone, and then there's resentment. So this is really hard because you have to train your brain to not expect something in return. And that can be difficult. So try it out. Don't let that resentment creep in if you can, but if it's there a little bit, that's okay. But just remind yourself, hey, no, I was doing this, no strings attached. Okay, last one before I let you get on with Valentine's Day. Love yourself. Aw, so cheesy. So it's easy to expect all the love to come from outside, but often that leads to disappointment. If you can give yourself some love, do it. For me, this looks like little treats, baths, a movie night with me. I watched High School Musical the other night, and my husband was somewhat present, but it was mostly for me. A quiet hobby, a walk, or a night out with the girls. So if you aren't willing to shower yourself with love, others probably wouldn't even know how to do it for you. So I really enjoy just doing small things for myself and have grown to enjoy it more. Getting a little drink, just like getting in my comfiest clothes and watching a movie or reading a book, and loving myself a little bit more. So do something for yourself today. I know it's cliche, but do it because it'll be cute and you'll freaking love it. Let me know what you did if you did something for yourself today. I would love to see all of us just show ourselves a little bit of extra love. So that's all from me today. If you want more about love, check out episode 12. And thank you so much for listening. Have a great week.